as well. The latest reports are that Martinez coming back won't happen, but that remains to be confirmed. But Rafa has gone, as you and I said last week on the radio. It was a bad fit in the first place, wasn't it?
I think it's up there with one of the worst appointments in Premier League history. And that isn't being disrespectful to Rafa as a manager. He's been very successful. It's just a fact. And I don't mean quoting facts. I'm not right, but I'm just saying. But because it was just never going to work. It wasn't going to work. The noises coming out of Goodison immediately suggested that they're not happy with this. They're not going to go for this at all. And so, and when you get those, and the ones down the years, when Alex McLeish, great lad, Big Eck, when he ended up at Villa after Birmingham, you're on the back foot. You're always on the back foot. When Brucey went in at Villa, you're on the back foot a little bit. And there's been a number of those sort of appointments. And what the owners don't realise is that they put players under pressure. And the Everton players have shown, that they're not good enough to play under pressure, that they can't handle playing under pressure. So you're actually putting them under more pressure when you hire Rafa, because as soon as the fans see something they don't like, they're slaughtering the manager during the game, but it's the players that are out on the pitch that are feeling that and having to try and cope with that. They're not good enough to do it.
We'll get your calls in on that for 5 p.m. onwards. Big debate on Everton. Help Fahad Mashiri get it right. Manchester United 2-up, drew 2-2. And actually, they're not losing many games, but they're not convincing anybody, are they, right now? How big a mess do you think it is at Man United?
I just think they've got a significant journey to go on before they're going to get anywhere near Liverpool and City and Chelsea. Right, yeah. I think they got some way to go. And I'm talking about not just ideas and a smart coach and hours on the training ground. I'm talking about personnel. I'm talking about they're going to need... I mean, I said to you, and I'll be interested to hear from United fans on this, how many personnel do we actually think they would need for Ranić's kind of methods? How many new players are they going to actually need to be able to really go toe-to-toe with City? It ain't one or two, is it? I mean, we're talking more like 5 or 6.
So, hold on, let's do that. From an 11 that might play, you keep David De Gea in goal,
You keep
obviously.
the goalie, of course you do. And he's been better at times this season.
Do you keep any of the back four?
Made a great save at the weekend. The back four, well, look, I don't think it would be wise to replace all of them, but I think most certain. Look, and I said to you, how many United players do we put on trial? Right? How many United players do we think are kind of still got a lot to do to prove? So, Wan-Bissaka, on trial. Dalot, on trial. Lindelof, probably still on trial.
Telles, on trial.
Telles, on trial. Luke Shaw had a great summer, but Luke's kind of game goes up and down. 1 minute he looks the part, next minute he looks like he's sort of half bothered, half not, to me. Right, so I put him in that bracket. I think out the back four, you got to find 2 or 3 to go in there. In midfield, Fred on trial. McTominay, no. I think McTominay has got a chance to be a very competitive boy, not a special midfielder in lots of ways, but one that you need. A player, the kind of player that you would need. A big lad, and he gets up and down the park. And so I think he's there to be part of something that's going to be built in the future. Matic, no, better days gone. As I said, Fred, not good enough. Bruno, again, of course, would be there for something moving forward. After that, Sancho on trial, 70 million quid, and literally hasn't kicked a ball yet. Hardly seen him do a thing. Just give me one thing, Jayden, that during a game. If you get on for 20 minutes, if you get on for an hour, if you start a game, nothing. Nothing at all. Rashford gone at the moment, heads wherever it is. I don't know why. Can't seem to focus on his football, and he's got to. Not seeing anything from him. Look, Ronaldo is if it was Ronaldo at 32, then you'd obviously suggest that he's going to be there for a long time. At his age now, you don't know how long he's going to be there, right? Same with Cavani. Yeah. So Mason Greenwood, I thought was terrific against Aston Villa. Most dangerous player. And I don't know why Ranić keeps dragging him off.
It's weird
Why does he keep on insisting on taking some of the younger guys off when they're performing, I think, really well?
Yeah, there's so many issues with Manchester United. I think the reason why I asked the question at the start is because their run hasn't been too bad. It's 1 defeat in 11, but I don't think that tells a full story. So it is a mess. Let's talk about United's issues. Martial is another one as well. There's a difference between what Rangnick said, which was Martial refused to play, and what the player himself says. He's denied it. I mean, all of this, to me, is a sideshow. I mean, Martial shouldn't be piping up about anything, really. He should be asking to play, give me a chance to prove myself, or leaving the football club. Which is it? Because he's had long enough there to show what he can do.
He's another one that's bothered, Martial, isn't he? He looks like he'd rather be doing something else as a career to me. Never mind playing football for United.
He's not the trialist, at best.
You know, it's just like everything seems to be an effort for him. When he's leading the line for Manchester United in that stadium every week, you just think he'd be tearing around the pitch to do everything within his power to make it happen, but never has for me.
Let's talk about United not being able to hold on to a 2-0 lead. It is not going as United fans had hoped it would go this season. There is a question I'm going to leave hanging in the air for a little while, and that's about Aston Villa. Jacob Ramsey was brilliant, so he's got to keep his place, hasn't he? So how does he fit Coutinho into a starting lineup? Does it mean that he's got to make a decision, Watkins or Ings up front? And if that is the decision Gerrard has to make, who gets the nod?